Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Valsa Williams and with me is VC Pramod with the Midday News. The headlines. President, Prime Minister and other senior leaders pay their last respects to Ram Vilas Paswan in Delhi. Union Cabinet condoles his demise. Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy, no changes in key rates. Filing of nominations for 94 assembly seats in Bihar underway. COVID recovery rate improves to 85.52%. In IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Delhi Capitals in Sharjah today. And in French Open tennis, Rafael Nadal faces D. Schwartzman, while Novak Djokovic to clash with Stefanos Tsitsipas in the semi-finals this evening. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. President Ramnath Kovind and Prime Minister Narendra Modi have paid their last respects to Union Minister and LJP leader Ram Vilas Paswan. The President visited the residence of the departed leader this morning to pay tributes. The Prime Minister visited the residence and met family members of Ram Vilas Paswan. Union Ministers Rajnath Singh, Amit Shah, Ravi Shankar Prasad, Dr. Harshvardhan, Prakash Zavadekar and BJP President J.P. Nadda, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, D. Raja of CPI, NCP Chief Sharad Pawar and other senior leaders reached his residence and paid their respects to the departed leader. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Congress leader Sonia Gandhi, other leaders have also condoled the demise of Ram Vilas Paswan. Earlier, the mortal remains of the LJP leader were brought to his residence in the national capital. In the afternoon, the remains will be flown to Patna and will be kept at LJP's office there. The cremation will take place in Patna tomorrow. A state funeral will also be accorded to him. The Home Ministry has announced that the national flag will fly at half-mast in Delhi and capitals of all states and union territories today as a mark of respect to the departed leader. The LJP leader passed away yesterday at a hospital in New Delhi. He was 74. The Lok Janshakti Party founder and Union Minister for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution was elected to the Lok Sabha 8 times and held the record of winning his constituency Hajipur in Bihar with the highest margin for several years. Condoling his demise yesterday, President Ramnath Kovind in a tweet said in his demise, the nation has lost a visionary leader. The President said he was among the most active and longest-serving members of Parliament and was the voice of the oppressed and championed the cause of the marginalized. In his demise, the nation has lost a visionary leader. The Prime Minister described his demise as a personal loss. The Union Cabinet has condoled the demise of Union Minister for Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution Ram Vilas Paswan. During its meeting today, the Cabinet observed silence for 2 minutes in memory of the departed leader. In its resolution, the Cabinet said in his passing away, the nation has lost an eminent leader, a distinguished parliamentarian and an able administrator. Born on the 5th of July 1946 at Shaharbani in Khagadia district of Bihar, Ram Vilas Paswan was one of the most popular leaders from the state and enjoyed a strong mass support. He was elected to Bihar Legislative Assembly in 1969 as a member of Samyukta Socialist Party. Thereafter, he was elected as a member of the 6th Lok Sabha from Hajipur constituency in 1977 by a record margin. Describing the LJP founder as the voice of the oppressed, the resolution said he always championed the cause of marginalized sections of society. The Cabinet also extended its heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family on behalf of the government and the entire nation. The Cabinet approved state funeral to be accorded to the departed leader.
Union Minister Piyush Goyal has been given additional charge of the Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Food and Public Distribution following the demise of Ram Vilas Paswan. President Ramnath Kovind has directed that Mr. Goyal be assigned the charge of the ministry in addition to his existing portfolios. The notification for the second phase of assembly elections in Bihar was issued today. With the notification, the process of filing of nominations has started in 94 constituencies spread over 17 districts. The second phase polling will be held on the 3rd of November in these constituencies. The process of nomination will end on the 16th of October and scrutiny will take place the next day. The last date of withdrawal of candidature will be the 19th of this month. In this phase, all poll-bound districts are in North Bihar except Patna and Nalanda. Rest of the poll-bound districts include Sitamarhi, Sheohar, Madhubani, Darbhanga, Muzaffarpur, Gopalganj, Siwan, Sharan, Vaishali, Samastipur, Begusarai, Khagadia, Bhagalpur, East and West Champaran. Talking to AIR News, Additional Chief Electoral Officer Balamurugan said,
आज फेज 2 का नोटिफिकेशन हुआ है। 94 असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसीज के लिए नोटिफिकेशन जारी की गई है और 94 असेंबली कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंसी 17 जिला में पता है। पोलिंग स्टेशंस का नंबर है 41,364। नॉमिनेशन आज से शुरू हो रही है। लास्ट डेट ऑफ मेकिंग नॉमिनेशन 16/10/2020 है, फ्राइडे है। डेट ऑफ स्क्रूटिनी 17 है। लास्ट डे ऑफ 19/10/2020 है। सेकेंड फेज का पोलिंग डेट है 3/11/2020।
In Gujarat, the filing of nominations begins from today with the issuance of notifications for the by-elections of 8 assembly seats. Polling will be held on the 3rd of November, while counting of votes will take place on 10th of November. Our correspondent reports that by-elections become necessary following resignations of Congress MLAs. More from our correspondent.
8 seats where by-elections are going to be held are Abdasa, Limbdi, Morbi, Dhari, Karjan, Gadra SC and Dang and Kaprada ST seats. Congress MLAs on these seats had resigned before the Rajya Sabha elections in the state early this year. Filing of nominations will continue till 16th October, while scrutiny of nominations will be held on 17th. Last date of withdrawal of nominations is 19th October. By-elections of 8 seats will be the prestigious contest for the ruling BJP and opposition Congress party in the state. Any seats won by the BJP will be a gain, as all 8 seats were won by the Congress in the 2017 assembly elections. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Election Commission of India has given a relaxation and has reduced the notice period from 30 days to 7 days for registration of political parties. It is for those political parties who have published their public notice on or before the 7th of this month. For all parties, including those which have already published their public notice in less than 7 days prior to 7th of October, objection can be submitted latest by 5:30 p.m. tomorrow or by the end of the originally provided 30 days period, whichever is earlier. Since the poll body announced Bihar Assembly polls on the 25th of last month, it has been brought to the notice of the Commission that in view of the prevailing restrictions on account of COVID-19, there was dislocation and delay in moving applications for registration, which in turn led to delay in registration as a political party. After considering all aspects of the matter, Commission relaxed the public notice time period. This relaxation will remain in force till the 20th of this month, the last date of nomination for third and last phase of the Bihar Assembly elections.
The Reserve Bank of India in its bi-monthly monetary policy statement issued today has maintained the status quo, keeping the key interest rates unchanged. The reverse repo rate remains unchanged at 3.35%, the repo rate at 4%. The Monetary Policy Committee has also decided to maintain its accommodative stance as long as necessary, at least through the current financial year and next year, as the Indian economy is entering into a decisive phase in its fight against coronavirus. In major announcements today, RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das proposed that the RTGS system for real-time fund transfer will become 24/7 from December 2020. He said the RBI stands ready to undertake further measures as necessary to assure market participants of access to liquidity and easy finance conditions.
The MPC evaluated the domestic and global macroeconomic financial conditions and voted unanimously to leave the policy repo rate unchanged at 4%. The MPC also decided to continue with the accommodative stance of monetary policy as long as necessary. The marginal standing facility rate and the bank rate remain unchanged at 4.2%. The reverse repo rate stands unchanged at 3.35%.
The new housing loans risk weights to be linked to loan-to-value ratio and also rationalize risk weights for all new housing loans until March 31st, 2022. Also, the bank will extend scheme for co-lending to all NBFCs and HFCs. As for GDP, the growth may break out of contraction and enter the positive zone by the fourth quarter of the current fiscal.
For the year 2021 as a whole, therefore, real GDP is expected to decline by 9.5%, with risks tilted to the downside. If, however, the current momentum of upturn gains ground, a faster and stronger rebound is eminently feasible. Headline inflation has moved up from March 2020 levels and has persisted above the tolerance band of the target.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. President, Prime Minister and other senior leaders paid their last respects to Ram Vilas Paswan in Delhi. Union Cabinet condoles his demise. Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy. No changes in key rates. Filing of nominations for 94 assembly seats in Bihar underway. COVID recovery rate improves to 85.52%. In IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Delhi Capitals in Sharjah today. And in French Open tennis, Rafael Nadal faces D. Schwartzman, while Novak Djokovic to clash with Stefanos Tsitsipas in the semi-finals this evening. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
3 steps to stay protected and stay safe from COVID-19. Wear face mask, 2 gaz ki duri to maintain social distancing, maintain hand and face hygiene.
The country is witnessing a steady fall in the number of active COVID cases incessantly for the past 3 weeks. The number of patients infected with the coronavirus has been maintained below the 10 lakh mark constantly. In the last 24 hours, with around 78,000 recoveries, the number of active cases has further declined to nearly 8,93,000. The country continues to register steady growth in terms of COVID recoveries and has registered a cumulative recovery rate of 85.52%. With over 59 lakh recoveries so far, India also continues to occupy the top global position as the country with the maximum number of recovered corona patients. The number of recovered patients has also overtaken the active cases by nearly 7 times. Currently, India's case fatality rate stands at 1.54%. The country has progressively maintained a low case fatality rate and stands at almost half of the current global average. During the last 24 hours, 70,496 new cases were reported, taking the total number of positive cases reported in the country so far to 69,06,152. In all, 964 deaths were reported, taking the total to 1,06,490. The Indian Council of Medical Research (ICMR) said a total of 11,68,705 samples were tested for coronavirus by various laboratories within the last 24 hours. So far, laboratories across the country have conducted 8,46,34,680 tests. ICMR is continuously ramping up testing facilities in the country.
Telangana reported 1,891 new COVID-19 cases in the last 24 hours. With this, the total COVID cases in the state has gone up to 2,08,535. The recovery rate has also slightly improved to 86.77%, with 1,878 more people recovering yesterday. This took the number of recovered people so far in the state to 1,80,953. The daily bulletin issued by the State Medical and Health Department this morning stated that total deaths rose to 1,208, following 7 more deaths reported in the last 24 hours. In a unique association, the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai, MCGM, and Google have collaborated to mark containment zones in the city on the Google Maps. Looking at the size of the metropolis and volume of population, the information about the various containment zones marked on the maps was already being provided by the civic body's website. But the availability of this information on Google Maps will further make it easy to access for the Mumbaikars while on the move with just one click. Details from our correspondent.
Making optimum use of technology, the BMC has now provided on Google Maps information about civic-run hospitals and COVID care centers besides marking containment zones. This will help Mumbaikars to know the COVID infection situation in the city. To view this information, click on COVID-19 info on the Google Maps, zoom in the metropolitan map. The containment zones are seen marked in grey color with labels COVID-19 containment zones. The civic body has said since the service has been recently started, necessary changes will be made as and when required. Also, after clicking on COVID-19 info on Google Maps, if one goes to BMC option, the user is directed to the BMC website www.stopcoronavirus.mcgm.gov.in, which also provides similar information. Sonali Ghadiyar Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
In Madhya Pradesh, as per the fresh set of COVID-19 guidelines issued by the Union Home Ministry, the state government has also relaxed the restriction on gathering of more than 100 people at political rallies. The notification for the by-elections in 28 assembly constituencies in the state has been issued and the process of submitting nomination papers started from today. All these seats will be going to polls on the 3rd of November.
State Home Minister Narottam Mishra said that the restriction on gathering of more than 100 persons at a political rally has been relaxed, but use of mask, sanitizer and social distancing will continue as usual. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed up to more than 1,42,000 after 1,750 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours. With 29 patients succumbing to the infection, the death toll rose to 2,547. As per the State Health Bulletin, 2,420 coronavirus patients were discharged from the hospitals yesterday, taking the number of recovered cases in the state to more than 1,22,000. There are now 17,788 active cases in Madhya Pradesh. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
In Assam, several eminent people have joined the Jan Andolan for COVID-19 appropriate behavior in view of the upcoming festivals and the winter season, as well as the opening up of the economy. Appreciating the initiative of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal urged people of the state to wear masks, wash hands and maintain social distance. A report.
Assam Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal has led the state in a Jan Andolan to prevent a further spread of the COVID-19 ahead of the upcoming festival. In a message, the Chief Minister urged people to remain alert and follow all guidelines issued by the Health Department. Several actors, sportspersons, writers have also joined in the campaign. Actor Adil Hussain and boxer Lovelina Borgohain emphasized that though the lockdown norms have been relaxed, people should follow the health protocols. Hoardings and banners have been displayed in government offices requesting people to wear masks, wash hands and also maintain social distance. Manas Pratim Sharma, AR News, Guwahati.
Professor in Endocrinology, Department of All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi, Dr. Nikhil Tandon says the 3 steps to fight the coronavirus as enumerated by the Prime Minister are important to stay safe from COVID-19.
Wearing a mask, and that means wearing a mask properly, covering the nose and the mouth, number 1. Number 2, hand washing, so that even if there is a contact with a COVID-infected surface, that is not transferred to face or the mouth. And number 3, as best possible, maintain a social distance so that there is less likelihood of transmission by airborne virus.
Renowned boxer Mary Kom has appealed to people for use of mask, hand washing and social distancing to defeat COVID-19.
This festive season, make sure you keep yourself and your loved ones safe. Wear a mask, wash your hands and maintain physical distance. I am Ms. Mary Kom joining this Jan Andolan against COVID-19 and I urge you to do the same.
The Road Transport and Highways Ministry has successfully completed construction of road length of 3,951 kilometers during the first 6 months of this fiscal year. It has achieved a construction pace of 21.60 kilometers per day despite COVID-19 difficulties. The ministry has set an ambitious target of constructing 11,000-kilometer road length during this fiscal year. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on Twitter at AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो खुद से वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh are making progress in the implementation of the projects sanctioned under the Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation Amrut. A total of 47 projects have been completed and 100 projects are under implementation in Uttarakhand, while 32 projects have been completed and 41 projects are under implementation in Himachal Pradesh. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs Secretary Durga Shankar Mishra interacted with the senior officials of the Uttarakhand and Himachal Pradesh government and appreciated the progress made by both the states under Amrut Mission. He requested them to complete the projects expeditiously so that the intended benefits would reach the people in a timely manner. Both the states were requested to initiate activities under the Catch the Rain campaign. Emphasizing on the need to conserve water, Mr. Mishra said the objective of this campaign is to conserve every drop of water. It has also been informed that Uttarakhand has provided more than 36,000 new household water tap connections, whereas Himachal Pradesh provided over 17,000 new connections. Union government has permitted export of Bangalore rose onions and Krishnapuram onions of up to 10,000 metric tons each. It has been allowed for the period up to 31st of March next year. Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal has said the decision is aimed at empowering farmers and increasing their income. Directorate General of GST Intelligence, DGGI, has busted exporter companies for defrauding Exchequer through fraudulent claims of input tax credit and cash refund of around 61 crore rupees. DGGI searched the exporter companies, residence of their owners and premises of various supplier companies. These supplier companies were found to have given only bills to these exporters without supply of any goods. The exporters had taken input tax credit on these fake bills and had taken refund of the same as the goods were shown to be exported. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has said that 25,000 vacancies in the Union Territory will be filled soon. The number includes 10,000 jobs already advertised by the government. More from our correspondent.
Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha in a tweet today said that the government is working on fulfilling the assurance given by Prime Minister Narendra Modi about 50,000 jobs to the unemployed youth in Jammu and Kashmir. He said that a comprehensive plan is in offering for filling up 25,000 vacancies with 10,000 posts already advertised. In his another tweet, he said that the recruitment rallies for Central Armed Police Force, paramilitary forces and Jammu and Kashmir Police shall also be conducted across the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. He said that the government is laying special focus on connectivity to every village and every household in Jammu and Kashmir. This is Sunil Kohl for AR News from Srinagar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted all the Indian Foreign Service officers on the occasion of IFS Day today. He said the work of IFS officers towards serving the nation and furthering national interests globally has been commendable. The Prime Minister said the efforts of the officers during Vande Bharat mission and other COVID-related assistance towards Indian and foreign nationals has been noteworthy. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today paid tributes to Bhai Taru Singh on his 300th birth anniversary. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said Bhai Taru Singh's name will always be synonymous with courage and fearlessness. He said always proud of his culture as well as ethos, Bhai Taru Singh never bowed to injustice. The Prime Minister said he continues to inspire millions. Born in 1720 in Amritsar, Bhai Taru Singh was martyred protecting Sikh values.
Moving on to sports, in IPL cricket today, Rajasthan Royals will take on Delhi Capitals at Sharjah. Yesterday, Sunrisers Hyderabad registered a comfortable 69-run win over Kings 11 Punjab in Dubai. After opting to bat first, Hyderabad scored an imposing 201 for 6 in 20 overs, riding on Johnny Bairstow and David Warner's terrific start with a 160-run stand for the first wicket. Bairstow smashed 97 of 55 and Warner scored 52 of 40. Punjab's bowlers Ravi Bishnoi took 3 for 29 and Arshdeep Singh scalped 2 wickets. M. Shami bagged 1 wicket. Chasing a stiff target, Punjab were all out for 132 in 16.5 overs to slump to their 5th defeat in 6 matches to remain at the bottom of the points table. Only Nicholas Pooran, 77 of 37 balls, gave a fight for Punjab with scoring the fastest half-century in the ongoing edition. For Hyderabad, Rashid Khan was the most impressive bowler as he ended with figures of 3 for 12 from his 4 overs.
In French Open tennis, Rafael Nadal will face the Schwartzman in the first semi-final today. Nadal, a 12-time French Open champion from Spain, will be aiming to equal Roger Federer's record of 20 Grand Slam titles. In another semi-final, Novak Djokovic will clash with Stefanos Tsitsipas. Novak Djokovic has remained invincible this year so far. In the women's section, Polish teenager Iga Świątek will take on Sofia Kenin in the final of women's singles event. Świątek entered the final beating Nadia Podoroska 6-2, 6-1 in the semi-final yesterday. Sofia Kenin pushed past 2-time Grand Slam champion Petra Kvitova 6-4, 7-5 to reach her second Grand Slam final of 2020. Now a look at the weather update for the day. The national capital Delhi will have a clear sky. Minimum temperature was recorded at 19 degrees Celsius. Maximum is expected to be around 35 degrees. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 27. Maximum will be around 33. Chennai will see a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 28. Maximum is likely to be around 37 degrees. Kolkata will have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of moderate rain or thunderstorm. Minimum temperature in the city was 27, while the maximum is expected to be around 33. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature in Jammu was 19 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 34. The city will have a mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was around 5, while the maximum will be around 27 degrees. The city will have a mainly clear sky. Ladakh is also likely to have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature recorded was -1 degree Celsius, while maximum is likely to be around 21 degrees. Gilgit will have a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature was 9, maximum likely to be 29. Muzaffarabad will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 13 degrees, maximum likely to be around 34. Dehradun will have mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 18 degrees. Maximum will be around 33. Chandigarh will have a mainly clear sky. Minimum temperature was 20 degrees. Maximum around 35 degrees. In Hyderabad, minimum temperature was 22 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 31. The city will have a generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder showers. In Ahmedabad, minimum temperature was recorded at 23 degrees Celsius, while maximum is expected to be around 38 degrees. The city is likely to have a clear sky. Guwahati is likely to have a generally cloudy sky with rain. The minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 35 degrees. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. President, Prime Minister and other senior leaders pay their last respects to Ram Vilas Paswan in Delhi. Union Cabinet condoles his demise. Reserve Bank of India announces monetary policy, no changes in key rates. Filing of nominations for 94 assembly seats in Bihar underway. COVID recovery rate improves to 85.52%. In IPL cricket, Rajasthan Royals to take on Delhi Capitals in Sharjah today. And in French Open tennis, Rafael Nadal faces the Schwartzman, while Novak Djokovic to clash with Stefanos Tsitsipas in the semi-finals this evening. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the midday news.